Hey guys, X2 here, and welcome to another video. Today is going to be sort of a discussion and talk video. I am extremely late on this because this news came out April 27th, and as you can see in the background, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about Brothers in Arms potentially coming back. Don't know when, but coming back. The franchise might be getting a reboot, a remaster, rehash, or whatever you want to call it. But the Brothers in Arms franchise might be coming back. We don't know. Well, we know in what terms it's coming back, but we don't know if they're going to reboot it with a new game. We don't know if they're going to remaster the original 3 games, which is Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30, Brothers in Arms Earned in Blood, and the last game that was ever in the franchise was Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway, which is personally my favorite Brothers in Arms games ever. I did actually really enjoy Brothers in Arms on the DS. I think it was called Brothers in Arms 3D or something. I actually can't remember. But funny considering I just said I really thoroughly enjoyed that game. But here in this video, we're going to be talking about why this might potentially be getting a reboot and my hopes and the very small Brothers in Arms community that wants this game series franchise to come back. We want this game to come back and flourish just like we do with the original Medal of Honor series. We're not talking about taking the Medal of Honor series into a modern era. I mean, it didn't go that well, but that's for a different video. But what we're going to talk about is Brothers in Arms, like I said millions of times. So, on April 27th, I saw this on Instagram. I, for some reason, didn't put 2 and 2 together that Gearbox has a Twitter. And I saw this on Instagram, and I'm going to put a screenshot here of the Twitter version. And what this is them saying on April 27th, we're excited to announce that Scott Rosenbaum, I hope I pronounced that right, joins the Gearbox family as a showrunner for the Brothers in Arms TV show. And then they link for more information. And what we're going to do is we're going to read this information, and I have a link down in the description of Gearbox's Twitter and the information for the website that they have. It said April 27th, 2020. It says Brothers in Arms TV adaptation in the works, exclusive. And then they show a picture of 2005's Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30. Based on the video game franchise, the new show centers on real previous classified events from World War II. And then on the side box, it has video game developer Gearbox Entertainment has teamed up with showrunner Scott Rosenbaum, Queen of the South 5, and gang related to adapt its shooter franchise Brothers in Arms for the small screen. Small screen, I don't know what that means. It could be, they could release it on Amazon Prime. They could release it on Netflix, Hulu. I'm hoping it's on Amazon because I don't really own Netflix. Or it could be a small YouTube TV series they have that you have to pay for it. Anyways, it goes on to say, Rosenbaum will serve as the showrunner for the new series, as well as an executive producer alongside Gearbox co-founder and CEO Randy Pitchford. Rosenbaum was represented in the deal by Jeff Auckland, Anonymous Content, and Jedler Kelly, Jean Julian Barnett, who served as a producer on Ubisoft's 2016 Assassin's Creed film. Side note, Assassin's Creed movie was actually pretty good. I liked it. A lot of people hated it, but I personally liked it. Richard Wellen, and then it says in parentheses, Band of Brothers, The Pacific, Captain America, Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, and Sean Horan, Chief Business Officer, Gearbox Entertainment, will also serve as the producers on the TV series. Debuting in 2005, Band of Brothers Road to Hill 30 centered on a group of paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines on D-Day. The original game, which was launched on PS2, Xbox, and PC, was based on true events of the historical mission on Albion of the 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment. The success of the original title launched a series of games across various consoles and mobile devices. The Band of Brothers community really wasn't a fan, as to my knowledge, wasn't big of a fan on the whole mobile series they did, and I think they did release a kind of spoof Band of Brothers, Brothers in Arms after um, Hell's Highway, and that I don't think that game ever released because that's not what the community wanted. We wanted a continuation from Hell's Highway, which they did kind of leave it open to that on the end of the game. Uh, and then it continues to say, "I love the stories we told in the games, and we do have more stories to tell. But a TV show lets us explore this subject matter and the effect on the relationships and people in the broad ways." Pitchfork tells the Hollywood Reporter. So maybe this is going to be a Hollywood movie, but it says TV show, so it hopefully it's kind of like Band of Brothers. If it is, then I think that would be amazing, and they should probably bring in Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks to help them with that, because that would be fucking awesome. And it says, like the games, the first season of Brothers in Arms is inspired by true events in World War II. The initial episodes will focus on a once confidential operation called Exercise Tiger, a rehearsal for D-Day that went disastrously wrong. I said that wrong, but it basically disastrously went wrong. The story we ended up using has never been dramatized on TV, says Rosenbaum. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. About 800 U.S. servicemen were killed, and it had to be covered up because the Allies were preparing for the real Normandy invasion. The story will center on a group of 8 men who must rescue their colonel from the Axis powers before the enemy can learn of D-Day plans. But Rosenbaum, again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm just going to call you Rosen. So it says we'll also feature characters from both sides of the historical conflict, including real-life figures from World War II. Okay, so that sounds pretty cool. I hope it doesn't turn into something like Inglourious Basterds, which was I know it wasn't meant to be historically accurate, but I really hope it doesn't end up that way. I hope I get a feeling of from Band of Brothers and the Pacific. I hope I get that feeling. If I can actually watch it. I'm hoping so. Then it goes on to say, what I liked and hadn't seen before is we explored German soldiers and civilians of those in high command on the both sides, Rossen says. We meet all the real-life people and see the effects and the big puzzle. Barnett notes that the classified true story and the scope of Brothers in Arms narrative makes the series unique from other projects focusing on World War II. We found an angle that was really original and we think very different from other war shows, he says, emphasizing the show's focus on brotherhood. Qualities are what ultimately drew Rossen to the project. Almost all the World War II shows that we've crossed my desk felt very much like I'd seen them before, he says. When Gearbox came to me and I learned about Exercise Tiger in a series about all the classified elements of the war, it became very exciting to me. Full production on the series has not begun, but the team says they are actively looking for directors and want an ambitious broadcast partner that shares their big ideas for the show. We want to change the game, says Barnett. Quickly, I'm very late on this, and I do very, very much so apologize for this. I wanted to get it out when the news came out on April 27th, but if the people working on the show, hit up Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. They directed The Pacific, and they directed Band of Brothers, and I think they would be amazing directors and, I guess, producers for the show. I think it would be absolutely amazing because, again, they know what they're doing. They know history. They probably know about Exercise Tiger. And again, Steven Spielberg worked on Saving Private Ryan, so we got that too. He's got a lot of experience, and unlike Hollywood, these two actually know how to make things historically accurate. Unlike, again, Hollywood, which they don't. They don't fucking care. So, I hope we get them, or at least someone at their caliber who knows how to respect that generation that did that for us, who gave us that freedom. So, who basically gave us the freedom to make video games, movies, books, anything visual that shows you what happened back then. They gave us that freedom to do that, so I think they should really make this authentic and, you know, you guys know what I mean. Sorry, I just want to cut myself off right here. Well, first thing, apologize for keep mispronouncing Brothers in Arms. I kept saying Band of Brothers. For some reason, I guess I have small brain because they Band of Brothers and Brothers in Arms are just mixed up in my brain. I don't know why. Also, when I say when I'm talking about how Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg know how to make historically accurate movies, I am specifically saying they do it way better than what Hollywood can do and other directors. I'm not saying that Brothers in Arms. I did it again. Band of Brothers and The Pacific don't have historically inaccuracies. The movies do. Saving Private Ryan does as well. Those three movies do have historically inaccuracies, but in terms of if you apply that to Hollywood, if you compare those to any other Hollywood war movies, especially World War II movies, they have more accuracies than any other Hollywood movie. I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, "Oh, but this World War II Hollywood movie has less inaccuracies than Band of Brothers, The Pacific, and Saving Private Ryan." I'm just stating that Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg have done this already. They know what to do. They're good at it, and I think that Gearbox and the people who are working on the TV show should chime them in and see if they want to help. See if they want to produce and direct and help them direct. Not saying they should take the thing over, but just, Gearbox should let them to know what's going on, what they want to do. If they don't know what Exercise Tiger is, fill them in on what the operation was, because I don't even know what it is. I might actually fucking look it up, see if it's any in my history books, and see if it's in any of my war books that I have, and read up on it. But I'm basically just stating, yes, I know those three specific movies have inaccuracies in it. I'm not saying they're perfect movies. I'm just saying they're really, really good movies and TV shows. And I think they're a good example to bringing in Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg as help, at least, and help them. I forgot to mention that, like, in terms of the Brothers in Arms TV series, I'm really hoping they don't over VFX it. Like, I'm hoping they don't go over the top with VFX only. I'm hoping they actually use weapons that use blanks, like real guns, but just using blanks. I hope they use... Basically, I just want this to be a Brothers in Arms Band of Brothers. That's basically what I want it to be. I know, like, I can't and should not be asking that of Gearbox. I'm just stating that I hope that's what it is. I'm hoping they use, it's pretty accurate in terms of, like, gore, gunshot wounds. They use the, I can't remember the squibs. They use squibs a lot, so you feel the impact. Like, you're watching and go, man, that fucking hurts. Like, there's a lot of prosthetics, like a grenade goes off, the guy's leg's gone, and all that stuff. Like, what actually happened back then? Them using actual real firearms with blanks instead of just, them VFXing it on the gun where you can clearly tell it's fake. And I hope the actors that they pick to portray these men, I hope they actually, teach them what the soldiers went through, like what the paratroopers had to do back then to train. And but you guys understand what I'm trying to get at. I'm just trying to get at that. I hope this is actually pretty accurate in terms of the weapons and just everything, basically. I don't want them to over VFX everything to the point where you can watch the series and go, wow, that's fake as fuck. No, I want to go, wow, that looks so fucking real. And I know there are VFX out there, VFX artists and people out there who are so good at it that it literally looks real. And I understand that's what I mean by, blowing off limbs and bullet hole wounds and blood and all that. I understand VFX is that. I'm just saying more practical effects and stuff. Like, basically what they do in a Hollywood movie. They do practical shit that makes it look real and not VFX and CGI and stuff that makes it look utterly fake and you can literally point it out as you're watching the show. That's what I want to clarify. So, yeah, I'm done cutting myself off. He goes on to say, casting is also a ways of the future, but Pitchfork says outside of big names, he's hoping to land some fresh faces that people may not be looking at. Hey, hit me up. I'll be a person in Sears. Hit me up. I have no acting no acting. What's the word? Blood in my body. But I'll certainly do it because I love Band of Brothers. I'm just offering myself out there. No one will see this video, but if you happen to do, hit me up. I got a business email down in the description. I'll probably be garbage, but I'm willing to do it. Anywho, in February, Gearbox revealed it was also working on a film adaptation for another of its franchise, Borderlands, for the big screen with director Eli Roth, one of the two. Video game adaptations are hot trend in Hollywood currently, unfortunately, with Netflix's The Witcher recently bowing to the record of viewership. Showtime currently developing on Halo TV series, did not know that existed, and companies like Sony and Ubisoft mining their catalogs through their own studios for film and television. Here's a quote here that says, "These streaming services have created tremendous demand for content, so people are mining IP," says Moran. "Gaming just happened to be the largest form of entertainment globally, so there's a lot of material to mine." Barnett stresses that the importance of working with the creatives on the gaming side while adapting projects for Hollywood. "You have to make sure to respect the brand," he says. "Gearbox has full creative control because they know exactly what gamers can and will expect, but we also want to bring things to the show that you can't find in a game and to attract non-gamers." So that was it. That's all this article says. I'm hoping they release more information. If they have, I'll try and find some more, but so far, while I'm voicing over, I can't find any more information that they have. So I'm just really hoping this is like another Band of Brothers, another Pacific. It'd be super cool, and I, as a person in the Band of Brothers community, I really hope this doesn't soil the franchise, and I really hope this just reboots the franchise, and everyone can be like, hey, Band of Brothers is... I keep saying that. Brothers in Arms is still a thing, and it needs to come back bigger and better than ever. And I really hope EA takes a hint from Gearbox and goes, you know what? We should probably reboot the Medal of Honor series, which they are doing with the VR game, which actually comes out next month. Unfortunately, I don't own VR, and I don't own a computer that's good enough to run VR, so there won't be gameplay of the Medal of Honor above and beyond on the channel. I really wish I could, because just like Brothers in Arms, I love Medal of Honor. Brothers in Arms and Medal of Honor are one of my two favorite franchises to ever exist. I could say Battlefield and Call of Duty are there, but no. Medal of Honor and Brothers in Arms are the franchise I grew up on as a kid, and it has a lot of sentimental moments to me. I know that sounds really fucking stupid considering it's a video game, but it just does. And I really hope Gearbox not only reboots the franchise with new games, but will remaster the original 3 that came out back in the early 2000s. From 2005 to 2010, I think it was. 2005, 2009, from there to whenever. But I think it would be amazing, and this might be a hint from them telling us, hey, reboot's coming, more games are coming, and the 3 original are being remastered, which I think will be absolutely cool. Let me know down in the comments, guys, if you want me to replay this series. You're seeing some gameplay in the background from when I actually was going to do it, and I just kind of said, you know what, I kind of forgot. So what you see right now is part 1 of Hell's Highway that I did a long time ago before this whole COVID-19 crap came about. But again, if you want me to do a playthrough of Hell's Highway, Road to Hill 30, Under Blood, just let me know, and I'll do it. If there's enough demand, I'll do it. I might just do it for my own sake, because that way I can look back and go, man, I played this game and again for the 30th time, and it was amazing still. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Closing thoughts. I really hope this is good. I really, again, for the 40,000th time, I really hope this is a step forward to releasing new Brothers in Arms content, basically, to revive the franchise. And again, EA, take a page in their book. Come on, we need that Medal of Honor franchise remastered too. Again, it's gonna come out when Above and Beyond comes out. I'm pretty sure. At least I hope. But without further ado, like and subscribe, guys. apologize for being super late on this. But I hope the devs of the original game see this video, and everyone else. Without further ado, see you in the next one. Adios, guys.